Hey everybody, welcome to So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And that's the only two people who have ever hosted this show.
The only two demon hunters needed to take down what is about to happen.
Everyone else has been
episode.
erased.
Yep.
No,
they were demons.
If you listened to our last episode, you will know that David is out at Disney World on assignment this week, so he'll be back some other time to tell us about how good of a time he had in Disney World with his family without bringing us along. Just rude, really.
And then if you're listening in order, there's a good chance there's another duo that's going to be taking over next week.
It's going to be a summer of rotating chairs in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is normal.
Yeah.
Good. We love it.
Yeah.
This week on the show, we are talking about a new movie to us. It actually came out in June. It's still a new movie, but it's kind of...
I feel like it's really just picked up speed.
It's kind of taken some time to kind of find its audience, but it's really blowing up, and that's K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix. Literally, as of this recording, yesterday, we decided to do this movie.
We did.
Very little pre-thought was put into it, other than you had heard some good things. I had heard some good things.
Yeah.
Child at the pool told us very good things.
Yes!
Ringing endorsements all around. We were talking about it, and then a kid in the area said, "Oh yeah, that's a great movie."
Yeah, and then NPR told us that it was great too. And so, I mean, that is enough. I feel like, you and I have enough background, again, in news where we check our sources pretty thoroughly.
You got to have many sources, diverse range of sources.
We had first-hand sources. We had the internet sources. We had critics who were not just doofuses like us. Those were real people that told us those things. So we just to go with it and see what we thought as people who have no connection to the movie or really any kind of like full knowledge of K-pop culture
we're not,
in general.
We're not K-pop people. I know Gangnam Style.
We listened to Psy. That was my initial reaction. And then outside of that, never really anything that came back into my foray. I was excited. We talk about expectations. I was looking forward to this because I've heard good things about the movie. I've heard good things about the soundtrack. And I love a good animated movie that uses music to help tell the story. I wouldn't necessarily call this a musical in the vein.
No.
But the music is a huge piece, and I really liked that dynamic. So what about you? What was your expectations?
I did not have expectations.
Nice.
I'd only really heard of this movie in passing, and it was that it was good. I wasn't really interested in watching it because I just have known, well, K-pop's not really my thing. Demon Hunters, it doesn't really sound like my kind of thing. So, much respect, but don't know that I'm interested. And then we decided to do it anyway, which is good because you should watch things. You should watch more than just what you're interested in, I think. It's good to challenge your tastes and stuff like that, and you go, well, if other people say it's really good and it doesn't seem like it's up your alley, maybe this is a good on-ramp. Maybe you could watch this and be like, okay, maybe there is more I would enjoy. But that's the thing, is I just kind of went in blind. I heard it was good. I heard the songs were bops, and they're all over the streaming charts right now. This song Golden is number 2. No, number 6? I don't know. It's top 10 on the Billboard charts. It's top something on the Spotify charts. They sing, they dance, they battle demons. When K-pop stars Rumi, Mira, and Zoe aren't selling out stadiums, they're using their secret powers to protect their fans from supernatural threats. The whole thing kind of gave me Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes, because it's like, oh, they're like young people who moonlight as demon slayers and vampire hunters kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that,
you know what it gave me vibes of, weirdly?
What's that?
It also gave me vibes of Sinners.
Tell me more.
Because this opens up with some background lore, and they're talking about how there are certain people who use their music to interact with supernatural spirits and figures and things like that, and it's this power of music.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
A theme that's throughout this whole thing, and so you see it, how important it is, and there's the demon elements there, the vampire elements there for Sinners. So I feel like these two can kind of play off of each other, where maybe it's not something that you're used to or fully understand, but music and the power of music is something that is so connectable to most people, that if you look at it like that and you kind of understand where they're coming from, it really adds a connectability that I think a lot of people may be missing out if they just assume something about the movie.
Definitely. We should preface this disclaimer at the top. We kind of already did in saying that we're not K-pop people. We don't know a lot about the background, but just in
No.
general, we don't know anything about Korean culture. So we're not
No,
experts on that.
not at
But
all.
it is
Please help us learn.
but it was really cool to see it kind of like displayed this way, I guess. And I watched a little bit of behind the scenes stuff with the directors, and they talked about how important that was for them to kind of like take some of these pieces of these important pieces of Korean culture and work them into a movie like this that's animated and modern and has so many fantasy elements, which I thought was really cool. I think when I first heard about it, I was like, "What is this? Just some boy band singing?" And it made me think of like, okay, bear with me on this comparison because I think it makes sense in my head. When
Okay.
I
Okay.
first heard that this existed, K-pop band fighting demons, I was like, "Oh, this is like when Backstreet Boys would like do an episode of Scooby Doo, and they'd be like cartoons. I think Kiss
I
did it one.
yes. Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're gonna do an animated band, and they're gonna like solve some goofy crime, but that's not what it was at all.
The thought that went into this is, for me, really cool, because the setup is this group, these for centuries, right? These trio of voices have been holding the demons back, right? And it's passed on from generation to generation, and over the years, it's been working. The demons have been getting beaten down, and then they're like, let's try something different. They quite literally fight fire with fire, and they come at them from head on. And that was such an interesting perspective, because I can't really think of a movie where I've seen them take that kind of a route, where they go, instead of doing something different, let's take away their power because we're better at it. And I thought that was a really cool way to take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really interesting. I like the whole idea of their Matrix is a band with a fandom, but they're not just entertaining their fans; they're like protecting them from these demons that are like
Mm-hmm.
all over, hiding all over their concerts and stuff. What did you think about? I have the mind of a child. The Saha Boys, was that what they were called?
Sanja.
Boys, yeah. They're the antagonist of the film. A boy group, a boy band, K-pop band of,
Sorry. Yeah.
and they're demons, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and I said in my mind is I'm a child because I thought, yeah, they're like the Monstars, sucking their powers, and they just had to turn into looking like pretty boy band members.
Uh
You know what I mean?
huh. Oh, for sure.
Comparing a comparison to Space Jam's a compliment.
The Space Jam animation is great. I also thought the animation in this looked really good.
There's that Sony animated thing like Mitchell's versus the Machines and Spider-Verse movies. I like their animation style.
Yeah, it really does a good job of like bringing things to life, right? But in an animated way. Disney's so focused on hyper realism and super. This basically is just real life but animated, and I don't like that. I like when you can bring the animated world to life, and this has some depth. It's got color, and I struggle to see color, but the color in this is beautiful. But I thought the style was really cool. And then there were moments where it was like it looked like claymation in some way, like the
Yeah.
way that it was mapped and tracked. Like it was really cool.
That's the thing with that animation style that they've latched onto. It's like many styles in one almost. Because yeah, your Disney and Pixar, they have a aesthetic that they're going for, and the Sony aesthetic is almost messier, but like in a good way. Like it looks animated. It looks raw. It looks different. It doesn't look clean and proper and like every pixel is right in place and the water looks beautiful, like that kind of stuff. It's cool. I like it a lot. What about so what did you think about the music? Is it worthy of being top of the charts? I thought the what's it called? Soda Pop. That song was catchy.
I thought Soda Pop was really catchy, and I think is that the one that's at the top of the charts that
No,
people are, or is it Golden?
Golden is the one that's highest charting.
Okay, so there have been several movies over the last like couple of years that have used pop stars as kind of the main focus of a movie. So there was Trap, there was Smile 2. If you're going to do that, you got to have good songs. I do think that each song was good. I thought that they were catchy for the moment. I like that, again, they use them to help tell the story. The song that they're trying to come up with as they're approaching the big idol showdown, and that they can't get on the same page with the tone of the song they're trying to write. You know, they're trying to figure out how to take down the Sasha Boys, and they're like, we got to write this song that's just gonna, put them in their place. And Rumi, the main singer for the
Huntrix, yeah.
she's really struggling because she has some connection to the Sasha Boys in a way. And so she's thinking maybe this hate tone isn't the same way. And so again, they work those into the songs throughout. They're catchy, they're fun, and they're important to it. So they did a really good job of setting those up and using them. And again, executing. It's clearly catching on with fans. If it's at the top of the charts, people are finding it a good soundtrack too. So that's good. What about you?
I did enjoy them, and I wanted to read this piece from Wikipedia about the reaction to the soundtrack and the bands. The BBC highlighted that Huntrix and the Saja Boys, with their songs Golden and Your Idol, topped the US Spotify chart, with the Huntrix hitting number 2, surpassing the real band Blackpink as the highest charting female K-pop group.
Wow.
And the Saja Boys became the highest charting male K-pop group in US Spotify history, surpassing BTS.
Very cool. That's awesome. Those are huge. You and I are not well versed in the crossover culture that's happening, but those are two names that I recognize because of the way that they have crossed over and the cultural impact that they both have had. So for this to be able to surpass those in the US is a big deal.
Feels like a big deal to me too. I mean, K-pop is huge in America from my understanding. I think it's obviously bigger elsewhere, but it's become pretty big here. BTS is popular, Blackpink is popular. These are bands I've heard of. And if I don't know K-pop and I know those bands, then I think they must be, but if normies like us have heard of them.
Yeah.
I like the songs, I feel like that's difficult to probably do with a movie where you're making songs for the movie. Another thing that I was reading talked about how they intentionally tried to make Saja Boy's songs feel a little more hollow because of the fact that they had to be worse. But they had to still be catchy enough for people to like them.
Move their shoulders too.
Right. Whereas they wanted to make sure that the same was true for Huntrix songs, but also that they had a little more lyrical depth. So that's just cool that they even put that much thought into it.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, this movie's an hour and a half, roughly.
It's pretty short.
Right on there. So to work in several different songs that are catchy, impactful, and help move along the story and aren't just there for their sake is really impressive in how, again, well thought out and well structured everything is. I do think I feel like there's a lot going on in that hour and a half. I feel like they have really good stories that they kind of throw out there. So the demons have patterns on them, and they use that in a way to talk about a personality. When your patterns show something, they're referencing a demon, but people have patterns, and so it's connected there. I think they talk about their fears and their flaws not being shown. And I think that's a thing that a lot of people deal with, is there's this idea of perfectionism and that nobody ever wants anybody to see their flaws, but the flaws are actually the things that make them them, and that's what makes us all different. And so they had a lot of really good pieces that were there, but they never really got to expand on any one of them because they had so many parts and just in an hour and a half. I really wish that there could have been more focus on maybe one big element of those things, because I think, depending on who's watching this, you would think it's a younger audience. Some of those deeper messages, they may not connect and get the entire point that they want across.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So there were some. We don't know a lot of the cast. The
Hmm.
cast is new to at least you and I, but there were some familiar names in there that at least I recognized from the voices.
Yeah.
Ken Jeong, he was in there. He was one of the first voices that I recognized. I was like, oh my god, Ken Jeong. He was the agent of Huntrix. Did you recognize
No,
anybody else? Did you recognize Ken?
I didn't recognize anyone until I saw the cast list and saw, oh, there are a couple names that I do know. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Ken
Ken
Jeong is
was.
obviously one of them.
Yeah, he was the only one that I recognized by voice. I checked out the cast list, and we got Daniel Dae Kim. You know, he got famous in Lost. He plays Healer. And Lee Byung-hun, who is famous for the frontman in Squid Game, he plays Guaymoth, who is like the main demon. Liza Koshy's in there for a hot second. You
Yeah,
know, super famous host of the reboot of Double Dare on Nickelodeon.
that's what everybody knows her from.
Everybody knows her from that. Outside of that, you know, I'm not familiar enough with the cast to hardly say their names, and I'm not going to, but I do believe that they all did a fantastic job in performing their characters. And I think that the singing voices, again, clearly had a good connection with them as well.
Yeah, really great voice cast, super talented. Yeah, singing voices are great. Like if you don't watch the movie and but you do like K-pop, at least check out some of the songs on Spotify. You may have
Yeah,
already even heard some of them just because of the fact that they're so popular right now.
absolutely. Yeah. And again, I would say, you know, figure we're getting into our final thoughts and into the letterbox game as we move
Yeah.
along here. But again, looking back at my expectations, I was excited and I feel like it paid off. I feel happy. I'm not upset that we watched this movie at all. I'm very glad. And honestly, I can see it turning into a Netflix TV series. It would not surprise me at all if they do something like that. There's a lot of toy aspects that they could do. Music, obviously, you can release albums for them as you get there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that they're looking at.
No, I agree. I'm sure, especially with the reception, that they will be looking at all possible ways to franchise this, either through a TV show or sequels, or well, either way, they'll both include new albums for sure because the
Yeah.
streaming success is going to be huge for these. But yeah, overall, I think we got a good one here. Should you want to do?
Yeah.
Let's do
Very
our
pleased.
final reviews.
You go first.
So, like I said, going into this, I did not have expectations because I had not even given the movie that much thought. So it was nice to kind of go in blind, to not knowing much outside of people seem to be liking it. I found it very entertaining, very engaging, especially as someone who doesn't have, I'm not like into the K-pop fandom. So that's just not something that I get excited about, but I still found the story really cool. The like, I don't know, a band that fights evil spirits is just kind of cool regardless of the genre to me.
Definitely.
So I was down for that story. Was sold on the music and the elements of the story, how deep it really goes into some aspects. So I struggle to find a problem with it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's gonna be maybe 4 stars.
Nice.
I was leaning 3.5, but why?
Yeah.
I don't
If
know.
you like it, you like it. I
What do you think?
agree with most of what you said. I had just seen this on Netflix as I scroll through. People that I trust talked about it from a wide range of ages and backgrounds. And so that gives me trust initially if so many different people are saying good things. I thought the story was well done. I thought it was well executed. There was thought put into it. The soundtrack was fun. I'm going to listen to some of those other songs again, probably. But I think I'm going to go with a 3.5 just because my grading scale is, 3.5 is really, really good. And 4 is great. And I think that this was
Really,
really,
really
really good.
Pretty good.
I would recommend that you go watch it, especially if it's something that you're not familiar with. It's important to watch things that are out of your comfort zone or maybe not your style to challenge yourself a little
Yeah.
bit. And this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's very good to be doing that. All right, well, let's then go to some of the popular Letterbox reviews here and start thinking about what they might think of this movie. We've got this 4.5-star review from Jericho who says, "Got me giggling and kicking my feet the whole time," which
Yeah.
is very delightful.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that word. 4 stars. Some K-pop boys out there are actual demons, and I just can't prove it yet. 3.5 stars. Extremely relatable. I too love sitting on my couch.
Oh my God, they loved the couch.
And number 1, 3 stars. Nepo baby versus industry plant. I could see. You'll understand that after you watch the movie.
Yep.
So there you go. Some of the popular Letterboxd reviews. What do you think?
This is a tough one because I think it's going to be higher than I expect it to be. I'm going to go with a 3.7.
3.7. I am going to break through into the 4.0 ceiling.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's there.
And I'm going to guess 4.0.
That's a good place.
Let's see. The Letterboxd review. Oh, there it is. This has got.
I love that neither one of us have any idea what the scores are.
Huh?
Neither one of us have any idea what our scores are.
Oh, no.
Yeah, our stat guy's gone. Have no idea who needs the points more.
Our regular viewers know the drill. The point is that David loses this week, regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the point. So this is based on 500,000 ratings.
Wow.
We have a direct hit. One of us is getting 2 points, right? Is that how it works now?
Yes.
It's you. It's 3.7.
Oh my goodness, that's 2 in a row. I got a direct hit last week too, I think.
That's true. This is a 3.7 on Letterboxd.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh man, I wish I knew what my points were now because David's in the lead. We know this. I have been dead last and I have at least gotten close to catching up. Tune in next week when David will tell us where we're at.
We're not the note takers for this show. We should really have a producer, probably. Volunteers?
You'd think.
Anyway, that is it for us on this episode. Thanks for watching and talking K-pop Demon Hunters with us. It was fun. We'll be back next week with I don't know what, but rest assured, it'll be a movie. And
it'll be a blockbuster.
I
think it's going to be, I would say, Marvel Fantastic Four. But that's up to you and David.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be like, hey, you guys did a surprise without me. Now I want to do a surprise for Garrett. I don't know. Go to somanysequels.com, bookmark that website, subscribe to the show. You can watch the video on YouTube or Spotify and get the podcast on whatever podcast app you like to use.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.